Hey everyone, welcome back to an episode of Create with Linda. Today is what? Doesn't really matter what day it is. It happens to be Thursday, but I'm coming on because I'm doing a special video today, guys, and I'm going to start doing these videos. What I'm doing is I'm doing extreme budget meals. Now, we know what's going on in this world, the government shutdown and everything else, and the money and the whatever, the presidencies, everything else, and the grocery stores are outrageous. You know, everything is just so crazy. We need some meals, and I know people are struggling. You know what I mean? And I'm there. You know, I've had to do it really a lot of times in my life to budget meals and really, you know, stretch a meal. And so I'm coming on because I noticed that it's really hard for a lot of people. Like I said, I've been through it. I can relate and all of that, and I want to help people. And I want to show you that even like I didn't go to the store and buy anything. I came home and I said I'm gonna make this extreme meal. Now what I plan on doing was like a $5 five. I was gonna do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 meals. But this meal that I'm making is a little. It's like under $6, so it's like 5.60, 5.65, close to $6 with what I'm going to use, and I'll show you. But all this stuff that I got, guys, that I'm using is stuff that I had already from my pantry, from my refrigerator leftovers, that kind of stuff. So instead of going to the store and buying it and writing down the prices, what I did was I looked up the prices so I know what everything is. So I will show you, okay? What we're gonna do, now this is gonna be, I would say, for 3 to 4 people, as long as they're girls. If there's men, this will probably won't feed, well, it'll feed like 4 men, I would think, yeah. You know, 4 people, I'm saying, with men and women, and maybe a child or something like that. The object is to bulk it up, okay? To get something that's really filling, that you could make, that people are gonna come away full. Now, they're not gonna be the best nutritionist meals. It's not possible, because, I mean, it is possible, but, you know, you're gonna have to fill up on carbs and stuff like that. And right now we're just here talking about, what the heck is that up there? Talking about filling your bellies, not worrying about if you're getting enough protein, vegetables, whatever, carbs. That's not what it's about. When your family's hungry and you need to fill your kids' bellies and your belly and have everybody satisfied and full, you can't worry about that. You have to worry about what's sustainable, and what I feel is very sustainable is what I'm doing. Okay, so I had these leftover noodles from the other night that I made, okay? This is like a pound. It's like about a pound and a quarter, maybe. So I priced it. I know exactly how much I paid for it. And then I weighed it, and I figured out how much this costed me. So this was, where are the noodles? How much are the noodles here? About $1.20. Okay, because I got the noodles on sale. So this is like a little, a little over a pound, $1.20. Okay, so I'm not going to give you all the exact prices, but whatever. I'm using a half a bag of broccoli, not the full bag, because I would have went really over. So I'm using a half a bag of the broccoli. I'm using a half a piece of chicken. Okay, not the whole. I was gonna do chopped meat, and chopped meat was just way over the top. It was like at $10, and I want to show a really extreme meal. So I'm doing, like I said, this is under $6. So I'm using a half of this chicken. I'm using this pepper that I have. It's like 30 cents. So I have 1 pepper to bulk it up with a little more vegetable, and I'm using. I'm going to say right now, all the seasonings in my house that I have already, I'm not going to price them and put those in there with that. That's a given. You know, garlic powder, salt and pepper and all that. But like garlic, I'm charging like 50 cents because I had to buy this physically. So obviously, I'm charging for this, okay? A little bit for this, and then I'm probably going to use the whole onion, which is like 40 cents, 50 cents. So it added up to about $5.65 with everything. But like I said, guys, whatever's in my whatever seasonings I have, and I'm actually going to use a little milk out of the refrigerator. I'm not going to really charge for that. I'm just going to say this meal is under $6. You can add a little bit of milk. You can add a little bit of water to things. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. This is a given here. This stuff comes with my house, so I'm just using it. Okay, fresh herbs is another story. I really wouldn't charge for that either. But because the thing is that like if you don't have an onion and you don't have garlic, if you have onion powder, here's garlic powder. If you have garlic powder and onion powder that you bought a month ago, you need a little bit of this. You can use this instead of this. Okay, instead of this if you want, but you don't have to. Okay? So this meal is, like I said, is about $5.65, and I think it'll feed 4 people. And it might even feed more if there's kids and they're all women, you know what I mean? Men, you might, need a little bit more. Anyway, let's get started, guys. Extreme under $6 budget meal to help you out. Please, guys, please, if you need help, reach out. Go to your local government and get help with food, or your local church, or a neighbor, your family, anybody. Just ask if you're hungry. Please, please, please. There are places you can go. I know it's kind of going a little difficult now with the with the food stamps and stuff. People are suffering and they're going to stop it or something. I don't know. I hope they don't. But just please reach out, please. Okay, we're here to help each other. All right, let's get started, guys. All right, so let's chop up the stuff that we have to chop up. We're going to do the onion, the pepper, and I'm going to separate all the stuff that I need. I have a frying pan. Let's do I have the garlic already. And I'm using the minced garlic because I do have fresh garlic, but it's just easier. And it's really it's cheaper to use the minced garlic. Just throw like a little teaspoon in, or a little, whatever of that. So that's what I'm doing. All right, so let's cut the pepper up. Okay, now this is just one pepper, and this pepper was hanging out in my refrigerator. Like, actually, it probably wouldn't have seen the light of day. Like, it probably would have been in the garbage. So this is what I was doing. I was looking at. I said, you know what? I don't have to go to the food store. Whatever I have in my pantry in my house is what I'm going to utilize, and that's exactly what I did. And my pantry, I'll tell you right now, I'll show you, my pantry is not full. My pantry is really lacking. A lot of stuff I don't have in there. I was just saying to my son that I got to get to the store this weekend and try to stock up on some stuff because my pantry is really, really lacking. And I want to make sure that my pantry is at least half full, nicely full, because when you have extreme times like this, you need to go into your pantry and your refrigerator and everything and try to make these meals to stretch for your family, okay? All right, so let's do the pepper. Okay. Any little thing you can put in, like the onion and the garlic and like one pepper. Even so, it's just one pepper. It's still one pepper. So I'm going to cut it fairly small. Not too small because I want to taste it. You know what I mean? I don't want it to disappear. Because this is going to be a quick meal also. This is like a quick weeknight meal where you can come home from work. If you work till 5 o'clock, you come home, you get going on dinner, and this is very quick, especially if you have stuff that's already made. You can even plan for this as well. But yeah, so this is a good easy meal, and like I said, you can swap the pepper out for I was gonna put string beans in here actually, but string beans were too much, so I took the string beans out. And I did the half of the frozen broccoli. I was going to do fresh broccoli. That was too much, too. So that would have been like a $10 meal. I mean, even though $10 for the meal that I was going to make is still very good for $10. You still can feed 4 or 5 people on it. But I wanted to do really extreme of showing you how you can really, with a little bit of creativity, you can really bulk up things with certain things and make it a nice meal for your family, and your family will never know that you're struggling. I'm telling you guys, never know. All right? Pasta is one of them. That's so good. Potatoes. rice. Those are the best things to buy that you can buy reasonably, and then have like bulk it up. I remember. I mean, I still, we still have rough times that we buy. When pasta's on sale, my husband looks at me like I'm crazy, but I'm like, it's 88 cents as opposed to $1.39. I'm gonna get an extra 3 or 4 because when there's nothing to eat, or when you're struggling a little bit, there's always something you can make with pasta. You can make pastas with scrambled eggs, like mixed in. You can make pasta with butter, with grated cheese, with a little chicken broth, with a little chicken bouillon. You could put carrots in it. Like, there's so many things you can do with pasta, guys, that is so good. And pasta is so cheap. Pasta is so cheap. So yeah, pasta's a good thing. Potatoes, when the potatoes are on sale, the 10-pound bags of potatoes, you can get them at Walmart, whatever. Really, really good to have in your arsenal. Potatoes and rice. Buy the big boxes or buy the big bags of the rice, because rice is really, really good, and it's such a filler. It's so bulky, and it really fills your belly, and there's nothing better than a bowl of rice. You can make soup with it. You can make stir fries. You could add a little bit of protein to it. You could buy the canned chicken and add that to it. There's so much, guys. I'm so excited about this because I got so much to show you guys. I really do. All right, so there's the pepper, because that's a nice amount of pepper, guys. So we're gonna do 1 onion. All right, let's do 1 onion. Okay. Let me open this up. Okay. All right, so let's cut this onion pretty small. I don't want it like diced, but I want it small, but not diced. I want to be able to taste the onion. So we'll do that. So this is going to be plenty for, like I said, 3 to 4 people. Or, I mean, if it was little kids, it'd be 5 kids you could feed with this, or whatever. But this is going to go far, and I'm going to show you why it's going to go far, and how it's going to fill your bellies up. Okay. Woo! And that was like a small to medium onion. You could use a smaller onion if that's all you have or whatever. Like I said, use a half onion. You can use garlic powder, onion powder, in it. Okay. I'm just using what normal people, like what most people would have in their arsenal if they can afford it. A little bottle, a little thing of like a little garlic powder. If you can't have the big ones, you can buy the little ones. They have them at the Dollar Tree for $1.25. They have them at Aldi. I think it's $1.10. Walmart's gone up a little bit. I think it's like $1.29 or something like that for one. But there is you can get these. Go to the Dollar Tree. I'm telling you. Okay. Buy it once in a, every time you go, get one. You don't have to get 3 at one time if you can't afford it. Get one, and then the next time you go back, get another one. You know what I mean? Just try to do that kind of stuff, and you'll see it'll help your bottom line, guys. I'm telling you, it'll help your bottom line. All right, so we got the onion. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this. I'm just putting my paper here. I'm gonna put what I'm doing is I'm gonna put the pan on now. I am going to use a little bit of my oil, but if I didn't have the oil, if I couldn't afford the oil, if I had cooking spray, I'd use that, or I would use a tiny, tiny piece of butter. And if you don't have those things, you could also start it with a little bit of water. With a little bit of water is fine if you didn't have oils or butters or anything like that. So I'm just going to use a minimum, probably about a teaspoon. That's all we need. A little over a teaspoon, guys. So yeah, but like I said, you don't have to have the oil. You can start with a little butter or with a little bit of water and some seasonings. You can do that as well. You don't need to have the oil. All right, so I'm gonna wait for that to start cooking a little bit, and then I'm going to put the peppers and the onions and the garlic in. Okay, and I'm gonna cut this chicken up. Like I said, guys, I'm using half of the chicken. I'm not using the whole chicken because the whole chicken would put me over the budget. Where's the chicken? Where is my chicken? Oh, right here. No, that's not it. My chicken cutting board. Well, I'll have to use the glass one. I have one that's just for chicken. I don't know where it would go. It just disappeared off the face of the earth. But you can also use glass, guys, okay? Glass, you can use chicken and poultry because you can wash it. All right, so I'm just leaving that like that because I'm not doing that. All right, let's get the onions and the peppers in. Not gonna put the garlic in yet, guys, because I want to wait a few minutes to put the garlic in. I don't want it because it's minced garlic. I don't want it to burn. All right, let's turn this around. All right, you want to hear that sizzle. I'm gonna put the flame up just a little bit higher because you want to hear that sizzle. You want this to cook pretty fast. So let's get this going. Get that mixed up. Another tip too, guys, an extreme tip is once in a while if you're able to go and get fast food or, Chinese or something like that, I'm not talking about stealing, that's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is if you're getting some ketchup for your, like if you're to take out and you're getting some ketchup or you're in this establishment, grab a couple of extra ketchups, a couple of extra mayonnaise, something like that, and just put it in your bag, not your pocketbook, but just, you know what I'm saying? Just grab a couple of extra, and even if you carry it in your hands, because bring it home, because what happens is, you can use those. You can utilize those things. I'm not saying stealing. I'm not saying that at all, people. I'm just saying if you take 2 ketchups, take 4, and you have a couple extra. And it helps you. It helps your bottom line. And you know what, guys? Today we got to do certain stuff. Not steal. Ever, ever, ever. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, you know what I mean when I say that, okay? I'm sure the intelligent people here know what I'm talking about, okay? Anyway, but yeah, that kind of stuff helps too. It really does. I have a big piece of pepper. Let's cut this up. All right, so I'm gonna, after a couple of minutes, like I said, I want to wait a couple of minutes because I'm gonna put half of this bag of broccoli in, but I'm not gonna cook this. I'm not gonna steam this. I'm just gonna throw half the bag of the broccoli in. But I want this to get a little caramelized first before I do that because this is frozen and it's going to create a lot of liquid, which makes a lot of water. I want the flavor to be good. So let's put some garlic in there. Okay. We're going to do like a teaspoon of garlic. And like I said, I'm not counting this garlic. I mean, I did count it. Yes, I did. It's because now it's $5.65. So I got a nice heaping teaspoon of garlic, minced garlic.
Watch those. They're just the flame.
So we have that, okay? Like I said, if you don't have garlic, fresh garlic, use garlic powder. If you don't have garlic powder, use another seasoning. You can use, like I said, onion. You could use poultry seasoning. You could use steak seasoning. All of that. I might even put a little bit of my buttery steak seasoning in here. And you can get to at the Dollar Tree too, guys. This is a really good tip.
You're obsessed with that seasoning.
I love that seasoning. Look, and I'm telling you, I was obsessed with the Kinder. The Kinder is amazing. And then I was at the Dollar Tree and I saw this. This is the Colonia brand. I bought stuff there at, for some reason, Dollar Tree sells this. I bought their grated cheese. From there, I bought a few of their items and stuff. But this one right here, it tastes just like Kinder. I'm not even kidding. It is absolutely delicious, and it's $1.25. When you go to Dollar Tree, get it because it's so good to have in your arsenal. There's grapes in there if you want, Frank, on the bottom.
What?
Grapes.
I'll find my tablet.
This really does flavor your food, guys. All right, so that's good. I'm gonna put the broccoli in now because the garlic is starting to get a little bit toasty, and that's what I want. I wanted these vegetables to get a little toasty. And like I said, I'm only doing half a bag. I just bought this broccoli, so it had ice on it, but I, What? no, I bought it,
That's not from Aldi, you found it in the freezer. No, you want the fresh one, remember you didn't use the fresh.
Oh, that's right, yeah. I think it's fine. All right. I'm gonna put the flame on higher, because I want this to cook a little bit. Now, these are the florets. Once they start cooking, I'm gonna break them up a little bit. But you can get like chopped garlic too. That's a really good thing to get like at Walmart or Aldi or whatever. Get the chopped garlic because I think it goes further and it's less expensive. Oh no, maybe it's more. I don't know. I think it might be less expensive the chopped broccoli. I don't know. But just price them, guys. Whatever's cheaper because I think the florets are more money. Yeah. Right, the florets are more money than the chopped chopped broccoli. Broccoli, yeah. That's weird. Look at that. Look at that one.
I only buy florets.
Yeah, I only buy the florets too. When growing up, my mom Nanny used to always buy the chopped broccoli. But
I don't really care about the stems, so it's not a big
yeah, I
deal.
don't care about the stems either. All right, guys. So I'm just gonna let this cook a minute because, like I said, you see how it slowed down on the caramelizing because the broccoli was frozen. But that's why I did that the way I did it. All right, so I'm gonna let this cook here. Maybe I think I'm gonna cover it for a minute. And then what I'll do is I will cut the chicken up. And like I said, I'm gonna show you guys. I'm only doing a half of piece of chicken because this. All right, people, I just got interrupted. Jenny called me, and as soon as somebody usually calls is when the thing shuts off. So just to make sure it's on. So like I said, I'm cutting half, okay? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm using this side. Obviously, this side's thinner, so I'm going to use the bigger side, guys. Choose to do that. This way it's more, you know? This is fat right here, so I'm just going to cut this fatty part off. Come on. I don't like the glass. It's very, very slippery and slimy. All right, so I'm just taking the skin off, okay? That's all fat and stuff. So this is what I'm going to do. Now that this thing is big, this thing is so fat, I'm going to cut down the middle. Wow, I don't like this. I don't like it. It's really, really slippery. I'm afraid I'm going to cut myself. Let's do this. Come here, Cooper. You gotta go out. You gotta come out this way, buddy. So I'm gonna just cut this like this. So that's one piece. Again, cut it thinly, because I can get probably 4 pieces out of this. Okay? I gave some guy, an older man, he was looking at the chicken the other day, and I said, and I was looking at the chicken, and I noticed that the chicken was like the regular. Wait, Cooper. The regular chicken was on sale for $2.99, like this type of chicken, the big fat chickens. And he was looking at the thin chicken, and I said to him, "Oh," I said, "I don't know if you know, but I said I said the regular chicken is on sale $2.99." He's like, "Oh, is it?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Oh, yeah, it's not the thin." And I said, "No, but cut it down the middle. You can cut it. You get like 3 or 4 pieces out of one big fat thing." He's like, "Oh my God, I never thought of that. Thank you." He was so happy. I felt so good doing that because it helped him. I knew it would help him. 1 second, the dogs have to go out. Hey. Get out of here. Come here, dear boy. Trying to eat potatoes. Hurry up, because it's raining. They're going to have to come in. I'm going to have to fix their... I'm going to have to... dry them, guys, because it's pouring raining. All right. Oh shoot. All right. So this is doing well. Now it's got the little black stuff. You know, the stuff on the bottom. I'm gonna lower it a little bit, and I'm gonna use, guys. I'm gonna use water at first to get all this little good stuff up here. But see, look at that. Doesn't that look delicious? Doesn't that look like a lot of food? That looks like a lot of food. It's gonna go very, very far. All right, let's cut the chicken up. I lowered the flame on that. Okay, lower the flame on that. Let's cut the chicken up. Now, you want it small because you want it to stretch, but you also don't want to has tiny, tiny pieces because you want to be able to taste it. You want to know, yeah, I'm eating chicken. They were out there for 2 seconds. They literally just let themselves in, guys. I didn't close the door all the way by accident, and they just literally pushed their way into the door. Alright. So because I don't want that to burn, I don't want the garlic to burn, I'm going to add a little bit of water to that pan because the flame that I have it on is kind of like a low high kind of flame. Let's put a little bit of water in there. I don't need anything to burn. And water is a good thing to put in because it doesn't flavor, it just, you know. So I just kept that in this way, nothing burns, and you can just do the scraping off of all that stuff that's on the bottom. That's liquid gold right there. That's all flavor. Yeah. So that's going to keep that nice and moist, not going to burn the onions and the garlic. I'm not touching anything with my hands, guys, if you want to know. Oh, I got to shut the door. What are you guys doing? You get over here to go out? No, you don't get anything now, buddy. At night they get TREATS's. But now I think he's looking for his food. Cooper, what are you doing? What time is it? It is 4:12. I gotta be careful, guys, because I've been cutting myself lately. I've been very klutzy. I don't know what's going on with me. I'm gonna shut this for a minute because I don't like the way it's smelling, and I don't want to keep putting water in it, so I'm just gonna shut the flame for a minute. But like I said, this is a half a piece of chicken. This is about what was it? This is about 12 ounces. Because that whole piece of chicken was like a pound, a little over a pound, or a little below a pound, forget. But yeah, so that's why I'm doing half, because if I did the whole piece of chicken, that would have been like $8 probably, $8 instead of $5.65. So, all right. So see, I'm just cutting these long ways, and then I get as much out as I can get out of this chicken. And this is going to be, you know, this is a protein, and it's important. You have to try it. I mean, if you can't, you don't have it, you don't have it. You know, you can use beans as a protein. Beans is an amazing thing. Beans, rice, pasta, like I said, and potatoes. Those are the main things. If you know you're going to struggle during the month, buy those things in bulk, because I'm telling you, those things will save you in the end. Save you. I get so excited if I know, oh God, I'm low this week, or, you know, I don't really have any cash to go get anything else. If I know that I have a big bag of rice in there, or a big box of rice, I buy the instant rice sometimes. It's cheaper to buy the bag. So if I have a thing of rice in there, or potatoes, I'm like, oh, I could breathe, because I feel like, you know what? You can make anything with rice or potatoes. It's bulky. It fills your belly. You know, that's why too, like, get canned vegetables are good when they're on sale, like at Aldi and Walmart, ShopRite, wherever you go. Stock up on the cans, because you can always add that to rice, like canned mixed vegetables, corn, string beans, you know, that kind of stuff. All right, so there you go, guys. Look at that. That's a lot of chicken, right? That's a nice amount of chicken. And you're going to taste it. It's not going to be... You're going to know this chicken is there. Okay? So let me just wash my hands, get this chicken off. Yeah, I've been wanting to do these extreme meals for a while, and I always felt like it was such a big deal, like, to do it, and it's not, because you just can live right out of your pantry. Like, I probably have 2 or 3, 4 meals, maybe 5, 6 meals in my pantry from in my pantry that I can create and make with stuff that I have, other stuff that I have. So yeah. All right, so let's do this. Let's get the chicken in. That's a lot of chicken, guys. That's like 1, 2, 3. I would say this would feed about 4 people. And like I said, if not 4 adults, 2 children, and 2 adults. And yet, whether it be a man or a woman. Okay. All right, let's look at that. Rid of that. That's not. All right, so now We're gonna let this cook, and I'm gonna higher it just a little bit for a couple of minutes, and then I'm gonna season it. Now listen, I normally, like if I was just doing this meal regular, I would go to my butter dish and put some butter in it. I'm not gonna do that right now because first of all, I'm gonna have to charge it, probably, you know, even just a little piece maybe. And second of all, I don't need it. I don't need it. I have other stuff in here that I have the olive oil that was in here, the water that's going to go in, and I'm going to add a little bit of milk at the end because I want to make it nice and creamy. You can add any, you know, you could add milk. You could add, you can even do like a cornstarch slurry. You add a little bit of water and make it like, and you can even put like a little piece of butter in. But anyway, this is just an extreme under $6 meal that is going to feed your family and feed them good. Not just feed them, but feed them good. All right, I'm definitely going to put a little bit of this in. The buttery steak seasoning, yes. A little bit. And a little bit goes a long way because these could be a little salty, so you got to be careful with what salt you add, okay, if you're adding one of these steak seasonings. A little bit of onion. Like I said, I have fresh onion in here, but if you don't have fresh onion, you just put like 3 or 4 dashes of onion and 3 or 4 dashes of garlic. The more flavor, the better, guys. Okay? Like I said, I have broccoli in here, half a bag of broccoli. We got a small to medium onion. We got a half a piece of chicken, which is 12 ounces of chicken. Look at that. And the noodles aren't even in here yet. Now, if you don't have noodles, you could do rice. Rice, too. That's what I'm saying. Rice is like the big bulky, you know, the big bulky thing. Just like noodles, pasta, potatoes. All right, this looks really, really good. So that's what I got. So I'm going to do pepper, salt and pepper. Most people have it. But if you don't, like I said, when you go places, grab little salt and pepper shakers. Also, you could buy those like little salt and pepper shakers that they have, like you can get them at Dollar General, Dollar Tree. They have they're already in the little container, you know, in the little bottles. You could do that. So just a little bit of salt because I have a lot of, you know, I put some of that seasoning in there. So I'm just gonna let this cook a little bit so the chicken cooks out a little bit. Look at this, guys. This alone would be awesome. There's peppers in here. We got peppers, we got onions. Where are the peppers? Oh, they're in here. We got peppers, we got onions. I even have mushrooms in there, but I'm not going to use mushrooms. First of all, mushrooms will add to the cost of it, and my son doesn't eat mushrooms. So I'm making this as a meal for somebody who wants to have this. So I'm going to let this cook another minute, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the can of cream of chicken. Now I did have broccoli and cheese soup, a can of the Aldi, no, not the Aldi, the Clover Valley, which is Dollar General's brand of the broccoli and cheese soup. But that was more money. This was only 70 cents. The broccoli and cheese soup was $1 that I got on sale at Dollar General. So this was cheaper, so I took the broccoli and cheese out, and I'm just using the cream of chicken. So I'm going to go get the milk, because like I said, I'm going to use a little bit of my milk. Okay, but you could use water. If you have to use water, you could use water. You don't have to. And if you have a little bit of half and half, or a little, oh, you know what I have? I have cream. Just give me 1 second. I have heavy cream in here that I'm not using, so that's what it, you know. I have it in here already. I paid for this already, so I'm not going to not use it because I got to use it up. All right, so let's put this in there. All right, so we got the 1 can of the cream. It's a 10-ounce can of the cream of chicken. I could have used cream and mushroom as well, but my son, pain in the booty. He doesn't like mushrooms, and he claims he can taste the mushrooms in the soup, but I don't really think so. But you know, I think it's power of suggestion. But you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. All right, so let's put I'm gonna put like a half a can of heavy cream in there, and that's because I have it. Doesn't mean you have if you have milk, 2%, 1% skim, whatever, just put it in there. And I'm also going to add some water to this too, guys. Okay? I'm going to add some water to this. This is going to be delicious. Like I said, I wanted to do it with chopped meat, and next time, and when I do a higher price budget meal, like a $10, I'll use chopped meat because I want to try it with chopped meat. This is going to be amazing. Amazing. All right, so like I said, I'm probably going to add a little bit of water to this, only because I want to have some more liquid in here, and I don't want to use any more of the cream. I used enough of the cream, which will get me to like not even, like I said, under $6, and that's what I wanted to do. All that stuff on the bottom, all that black stuff, scrape it off, guys. Oh, this looks so good. I'm going to lower this flame now. Okay? I'm going to add the noodles in there. I think I'm going to add the water now. I'm going to add a little bit of water, like a half a can of water, because this is going to bulk it up. It's going to make it, you know. I don't want to make it too watery, but I want to make it nice where the noodles are going to be covered. Look at that, guys. Yeah, I think I need just a little bit more water because it's going to be sucked up. Now, I have grated cheese. I would like to add a little bit of grated cheese, which is already in my arsenal, which I already paid for, but you don't have to. So this is under the $6 meal, just with how I'm showing you. But if you wanted to add something else that's in your cabinet, you know, a seasoning or whatever, be my guest, guys. If you already paid for it, you already paid for it, and that's the thing. All right? Okay. So we got all those done. Now let's get the noodles in. Now this is, like I told you, about a pound of noodles, but I don't know if I'm going to use all of it. So it's really it's not even a $6 meal. Look. Okay, let's lower the flame to low. Now this is right here, this is what's going to fill your bellies, is the protein and the noodles. You know, I know for my family, pasta is it. Pasta is it, you know. So now, I'm trying to think. Now, if I add a little bit more of the noodles, it will feed more. This could feed, you know. I think I'm going to add another thing of the rest of the noodles. And then I'm just going to add a little bit more water. Yeah, I might as well use it up. And I'm telling you, my family, they love this anything with noodles and creams, you know, cream stuff. So I'm just going to let this, I'm going to add some more water to it. Now, it could definitely, I feel like you could definitely use a little bit more milk. I think what I'm going to do is put a drop more milk, but I'm going to use milk, not cream. We're going to do the water, all the rest of that water. Okay. Let's do that. And I'm going to get just a little bit more milk, and that's it. And this is the meal, guys. I'm going to taste it, see if it needs any more seasonings. All right. Oh, I forgot the milk. Let me see how it goes. Let me see how it goes. I'm going to leave it there for a minute. And I'll be back, guys. 1 second. All right, people. Look at that. Look at how creamy that is. Look, with just the water. A little bit of that heavy cream. Like I said, you can use milk, 2%, whatever. You don't have to use heavy cream or whatever. I had that in my refrigerator. That's why I used it. If I didn't have it, I wouldn't have used it. Now, I'm going to taste a few. Now, I'm going to see if later on somebody can taste it. And I want them to do a taste test and see how this meal is, how they think this meal is. Honestly, for under $6. And this is huge. Look at this. This is going to feed about five men. Really. Look at it. Look at it. It's huge. That's what I would normally make for my family. Like, that's what I would normally make. So, yeah. Under $5, guys. That's the ticket. All right, let's taste a little bit. It's very creamy, which is perfect. I'm just going to take a little spoonful. And we'll taste it. And if you have grated cheese in your pantry already, you know, I'm having some noodles. If you have some grated cheese in your pantry, put that on. I'll put an extra little salt and pepper I'm a pepper person, so I'm gonna put more pepper on mine. And I'm gonna sit and I'm gonna taste it. I'm not gonna sit, I'm just gonna stand here. All right, guys, extreme under $6 meal for 4 to 5 people, maybe more. Okay, ready? You got the broccoli, you got peppers, you got onions, you got the noodles, and these noodles were left over. These noodles were left over, you know? I'm gonna have somebody, and I have my somebody taste it later, and I'll tell you what they thought, or I'll show it. They probably won't want it to be shown. So anyway, just me, myself, and I. Okay, it's delicious, but it needs more salt because I didn't put a lot of salt in here. I didn't at all because I was afraid. A little bit, and you know, I'm usually a big seasoner, so I would put more seasons in here, but it's very, very delicious. It's very delicious. Definitely need a little bit more salt and pepper. That's the ticket. That's the ticket, guys. A little bit of salt. Because like I said, you saw me not put a lot of salt in there. I put just steak seasoning, and then I put a little bit of salt. It's delicious. It's filling. You got the chicken, you got the noodles, you got a little bit pieces of broccoli, you got peppers. You can't even taste the peppers. It could be done, guys. Go in your pantry today, and your refrigerator, and your freezer, and see what you got. I'm telling you, you can make probably 5 meals out of what you have just in your house, not having to go to the food store to buy anything. Happy dance, happy, happy dance, happy dance. All right, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this extreme budget, under $6 meal video. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, you can make a big, delicious meal for under $6. And this is gonna be eaten for 3 days. Like, I'm not even kidding. It's huge. It's huge. The noodles, a half a piece of chicken. I could have used all that. I mean, I used a half a piece of chicken, half a bag of broccoli, a little over a pound. No, about under a pound of noodles, leftover noodles, 1 pepper, an onion, and a little bit of garlic, and that's it. Salt and pepper, garlic powder, and yes, a little bit of cream out of my refrigerator that I already had. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys don't forget. I hope you guys subscribe to my channel, because when you subscribe, it really does help my channel grow, and I so appreciate all of you. Don't forget to hit that notification button with the bell so you guys can be notified every time I upload a new video. Like and share and comment down below. Thank you so much for coming into my home and my kitchen with me and creating. And guys, also comment down below if you want more of these meals, because I'm definitely going to do more. This was a $5, between 5 and 6. The next one I'm going to do is $4, then 3, then 2, and then 1. Yeah. I'm excited, guys. All right, guys, I love you so much. I'll see you on the next video. Gonna go back to eating my food. Noodles is where it's at. Mushrooms would go really good in here if you had a little small can of mushrooms. All right, guys. Bye. Love you. Bye.